Hi, and welcome to cgboomer.com. My name is Hans Eriksson, and today is day 18 of my work in progress. It's labeled Making a Logo and Web Header. However, it's going to be a roundabout way. I am actually creating a short film, and this is my second prop for my film. But anyways, this is part 5 of making my laptop computer. And so let's proceed. I think today we're going to be working on some materials, but I want to do just a little tweaking to this laptop. I really don't like the way that these mouse buttons are looking. They look like they're growing right out of the laptop, as if they're just a molded, raised part of the base, and that is not what I want. I want it to actually look like buttons. So what I'm going to do is kind of clean that up. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into edit mode, and this is going to be a little bit difficult, well, not hugely. Let me go back into object mode here, and I've got a material assigned to it, and I want to add and I'm going to call this material body, B-O-D-Y, and, well, I kind of misspelt that, didn't I? B-O-D-Y, and I'm going to add a second material, and I am going to call this mouse keys, M-O-U-S-E. I'm having trouble spelling today. M-O-U-S-E-K-E-Y-S. Mouse keys. There we go. Boy, I am just really having difficulties. M-O-U-S-E-K-E-Y-S. Boom. Okay. I want to take the mouse keys and I want to make them just a slightly different color so I can kind of see what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to darken it down just a little bit. This is not going to be my final um, uh, material. I just want to be able to see what I'm doing. Excuse me. Alright, now I'm going to go into edit mode. I'm going to go to face, select, and I'm going to select these two sections right here. I'm going to go hit mouse keys, and I'm going to hit assign. If I go back into object mode, you'll definitely see that I've changed the color so I can get a color difference. What I want to do is I got two material slots selected for this material here, and I want to be able to find these vertex groups that works for these keys. So I'm going to go back into edit mode, and I'm going to select a few more of these faces here. I think down to, let's say, right about here, and go assign, and I'm going to flip right back into object mode, and I can see that I've got pretty much exactly what I want. It's right down to the bottom here. It's a little hard to see, like if I click this small little face here and go to mouse keys and hit assign, go into object view, you can see that it even though it looks small in edit view, when I went into object view, you can see how much bigger that area is. So like I say, it's a little deceiving, but let's just continue. And a little of this is going to be kind of trial and error to see exactly what should be chosen and what shouldn't. But I'm just going to choose all of these areas here, back to mouse keys, and hit assign. Slip back into object mode, and you can see that looks pretty good. You can see I missed a little square there, so I'm going to choose that and hit assign. Now you'll notice that it instantly reverts back to body. If I was to select this key here, it'll instantly go back to body. So you have to kind of flip back and forth a little bit. Uh, let's go ahead and select these four, I think. And if I hit C, I can kind of circle select all of that right there. Click out of it. Go to mouse keys, hit assign, and let's take a look. And well, I can see I'm going to have to hit these four down here as well. Mouse keys, assign, and you can see that did not look exactly the way that I want, but I think it'll clean up here in a minute. Yeah, it will. Even though that doesn't look right here, I think it will in a little bit. Let me kind of zoom out and kind of attack it from a different angle. Yeah, it doesn't look right, but it will when I'm done. I just kind of want to get the correct vertex groups here. Let me go ahead and hit here. Kind of zoom in so I can see what I'm doing. And I think what I'm going to want is all of this here. Let's go mouse keys, assign, go back into object view, and yes, that seems to work about what I want. Let's go ahead and select all of these four here. Let's mouse key, assign, tab back, and that'll work. Let's do the same thing over here. Collect these right here. You can kind of use this other side as a little bit of a guide so that you can kind of see what you're doing. Let me hit C on my pad here and circle select all of these. Click out. Let's circle select here. And go to mouse keys and assign. Let's zoom in down here. Let's go ahead and hit my circle select by hitting C, and I believe all of that is what I'm going to want, and C, and select all of that, mouse keys, and assign. Now let's take a look and see what we got. And that'll work. We're going to set up some lights so that we can see everything a lot better. My object here is not to set up materials, but it is just to kind of aid so that I can see what I'm doing in my modeling. So let me go into object mode or edit mode. I'm going to deselect everything by hitting A on my keyboard, making sure that I'm selected mouse keys. I'm going to hit select, and you can see that everything there is, my mouse keys are selected, everything else is not. So now I'm going to go Shift D. No, actually, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to hit P, separate by selection. Now my mouse keys are a totally different object. Let's go back into object mode. I'm going to take these keys here and I'm going to move them to another layer. And now I have a big hole in my computer here. So I'm going to go back into edit mode. Now I'm going to select this, go into edit mode. I'm going to drop down here and I'm going to grab by hitting shift and left clicking, or excuse me, right clicking. Whoops, did that wrong. Select A to deselect. Let's change to line mode. I'm going to shift and right click, making sure that I select all of the rim here. Again, this is just a tad tedious, but it'll all work out here. Let me zoom in here, grab all these edges here. Oops, gotta grab that edge. Come in here and grab all these edges. Almost done. Well, at least with this side here. Okay, got all those selected. Come over here and do the same thing over here. Keeping my finger down, whoops. Keeping my finger on the shift tab or shift button, so I don't select just one thing. And select these here. Move over. Come in here and select all of this. Almost got it. A lot of little loops and stuff in here. Might be able to actually delete a few of these loops. Might try that. Because these loops here were used for my mouse button here, so I may not need those. And if that's the case, then we can just kind of get rid of some of them. We'll see here in just a minute. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hit E to extrude, and you can see that I'm now extruding just those edges, and then hit G and Z, and I'm just going to pull them down. Just about so far, doesn't really matter. And I'm going to add some loops in here to kind of control this. If I were to go into object mode right now, I'm lacking a little bit of control right here. So let me go Control R and just go ahead and add two loops, S and Z, and kind of move them up about like yay. Let's come over here and go Control R. Let's add a couple loops, S and Z, move them up, and let's go into edit mode, and that is just about what I want. Let's see what happens if I get rid of some of those edge loops that I think are unnecessary now, since they were actually part of the buttons. So let me switch back into here, and I'm going to grab this edge loop here by hitting Alt and right click. That got that entire edge loop, and I am going to X delete edge loop and go into edit mode, and you can see I really didn't change a thing. So that, well, let me zoom out to make sure it wasn't something else that was being controlled as well. So tab, no, actually that looks pretty good. So let's zoom back in here again and see how many edge loops we can get rid of. Let's Alt, right click there, X edge loop. Let's click this one, Alt, right click, X edge loop. Let's grab this loop, X edge loop. Oops, gotta actually grab an edge loop. I've got something here that is not right. Let me go into vertex mode here, see what happened. Gee, that is not right. That shouldn't have been behaving that way. Let me go R to rip. G. Oh, let me see. What is it? Is it Alt R? No. Hold on. I'm going to find out what that rip tool is, and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Apparently the key is Z, but it looks like I've got a little bit of a mess here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Alt and right click. I'm going to select that as well. I'm going to select this as well, and I'm going to X vertices, and let's get over here, and I can see I need to do just a little more repair here. Let me grab that vertex and X and get rid of that vertex. Let's take this. Let me see, let me get rid of this edge loop here because I know I'm just not going to need that. Grab that edge loop there and X. Get rid of that edge loop. I'm going to come over here. This edge loop I know I'm going to need. So I'm going to grab these two vertices here and I'm going to go F to make a face and grab this and this and go F and create a face there. Let's come into here and let's get rid of some more edge loops because I know I'm just not going to need these, and that'll help decrease our vertex count. Like I say, these edge loops here were for the mouse button, and so I'm going to go X edge loop, grab, whoops, let's grab Alt, let's grab this edge, X edge loop. I'm going to want to keep that one there, so let's grab, whoops, Alt, X, edge loop. Let's get back into textured mode here. Let me grab this one, X, edge loop. Let's grab this one here, X, edge loop, and that's better. I have these in here I know I'm not going to need, so let me grab, I'm going to leave that one, but I'm going to grab this one, X, edge loop, grab this one, X, edge loop, grab this one, X, edge loop, X, edge loop, X, edge loop, and we can get rid of this one right here, X, edge loop. Okay, I am going to need this one here, but not this one. Alt, X, edge loop. Alright. grab some of these over here. X edge loop, grab this one, X edge loop, grab this one, X edge loop, and that cleaned that up tremendously. The only other thing I need to do now is I need to come back here in here, and if I just select these vertices right here and then move over to here, select these vertices. Well, actually I got another edge loop here I don't need, so let me collect that one, X edge loop. Now let's grab, let me go into line select it. Might be a little easier to select some of this. Whoops. Let me select that one, this one, this one, this one, this one, whoops, this one, right here. Grab this, this, select here, 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 and hopefully I got everything selected. So let's go extrude, and then G and Z, move those down, and yeah, that looks right now. Alright, I don't know where that one merging thing came in, but it's gone, so I'm happy. So now let's go Control R, add in 2 loops, and then S and Z, and move that up. And let's go into object mode, and you can see that I've now got holes where my buttons can come through. So if I bring my buttons back, okay, it doesn't look like they're growing in there anymore, but one other thing that we can do to improve that is let's just let's see, turn the light on there. Let's select this, hit Tab to go into edit mode. I'm going to hit Alt, right click, grab that entire loop or line. Oops, forgot to hold the Shift key down. When you're selecting multiple objects, you always got to remember to hold your Shift key down. And I'll do the same thing here. Excuse me. Let's move this over, and let's do the same thing on this side. Alt, Shift, and right click all these edges, and the same thing over here. Did I get everything? I think I did. So now let's extrude, and then alright, on the Z-axis, and just pull that down. Alright, now let's go back into object mode. Let's bring everything back by hitting all of these. Now one thing that I can do now is just G and Z. Let's just pull it up a little bit. Alright, let's just go back into edit view, and let's add a Control R and add a couple loops in here, S and Z, and kind of move those up about right there. Control R, scroll to put in 2 loops, and S and Z, and kind of move that up about like yay, and that should about get it. Add that back in. Alright, and it doesn't look like it's just popping, or it doesn't look like it looks a little more like it's supposed to be there. Hit A to kind of deselect everything, and we can definitely see that just, I don't know, I like it. It looks a lot better. We could probably add a little ridge detail in here, but quite frankly, there's not going to be a lot of close-ups on this model, so if you want, you can do a little pinching around the edges there to give it a little more realistic effect, but for the purposes of this model and for my film, this is going to work just fine. Alright, let's okay, I am going to take the mouse keys and I'm going to come back up to here, and I'm just going to go ahead and make those bright white again, because I think that's where we're going to be heading anyways, because I'm going to kind of give that a little bit of a chrome look. And alright, I think I'm going to kind of leave it at that. Okay, let's clean up these textures a little bit. I'm selecting the body. You'll see that we have mouse keys affected there as well. So let's come over here. We're going to turn this into single user, and then I'm just going to delete it. I'm going to go to the keys and choose body, make that single user, and then delete it. So now the body is just the body and the keys are just the keys, and we're good to go. So let's now let's concentrate on starting to, well, let's start with, yeah, we'll just work on the body here. We're going to go ahead and start working on the textures for the body, or not the textures, but the material. And then we're going to go ahead and apply that same material to the, well, no, we're going to do one more thing here. We're going to take and define this right here, this keypad area here, or the mouse pad. So in face mode here, we're going to select, hit C and select that right there, and we're going to add, we're going to duplicate that, and we're going to come over to here, and again I'm just going to kind of darken that a little bit so that I can see it well, and I'm going to go assign and just kind of see where we're at here. So let's zoom in here, and let's just select the one. We're going to go assign, tab, and I can see I need to probably select two more. So let's select, go over to body, assign, and that is perfect. So let's go ahead and change what this is here, and we'll call this TOUC touchpad. Alright, let's go over the other side here, and let's again select, I think we selected 3 of them, touchpad, assign, and perfect. Let's come up here, let's just select 1, assign, and I can see I need to go quite a bit further, so let's go 2 more, or 3 more, touchpad, assign, select, and you can see I went way too far that time. So let's select this and this, and go up to body, assign, and that looks again too far. So let's take the 1 and go to body, assign, and that's what I want. Let's go to the bottom part here, see what we have to do. Let's select, well, we'll come over here, we'll select, let's say 2 of them. Go to touchpad, assign, and that's exactly what we needed there. So we got our limits now defined. So if we go into edit mode, we'll see that we just have to select these 3, touchpad, assign, come down here, we need to get these 6 here, and touchpad, assign. Let's come over to here. Let's just go ahead and use our circle select. We'll select those there. Circle select again. Let's select these, and I'll just have to manually select that 1. Oops, went too far. And let's go ahead and select, oops, didn't mean to select that one face. 2, 3, 4. Wander over to here, select that one, this one, this one, this one, touchpad, assign. And that is my touchpad. Okay, I've got that all taken care of now, so happy with that. And now we're going to come up here and we're going to work on the body and get my materials set for the body, and then we'll worry about the materials for the touchpad and the mouse keys there. Well, before I start doing that, actually I probably should set up my lamps a little better. I'm definitely not a lighting expert, but I am going to take this lamp and I'm going to kind of move it over here. I'm going to rotate it around like that, go into front view, and I'm just going to kind of rotate it up just to kind of get a little general. So I'll move it over here a little bit more. No, let's go 7. And right about like, let me see, right about like yay. Alright, 7. Let me go Shift S, cursor to center, and Shift A, add a lamp, and I'm going to add a spot. I'm going to move that spot probably over towards my camera. Let me see how my camera is looking. Let me reposition my camera a little better. G, set it over here, rotate it a little bit. G, move it, kind of fly in just a little bit, and I'm going to leave my camera right about there for now. Go back into top view, and I'm going to take this one spot here and I'm going to set it about here. Go into side view, G, and move it up to about here, rotate it, and 7, a little bit over to here, rotate it, and 1. Alright, that will work. I'm going to take the energy and I'm going to turn it down to 0.8. No, actually I'm going to leave that one at 1. That's going to be my main light. I'm going to Shift D and move it over to 7G. I'm going to create a fill light, rotate this direction, go back to 1, rotate it up a little bit, 3, and rotate it a little bit this way, and go back into 7 here, and let's just go ahead and add a backlight. Shift D, take this lamp, set it over to here, rotate it around, set it a little bit more over to here, rotate, oops, rotate, 3, rotate it up just a little bit, and 1. Okay, I think that will work. I'm going to take it and I'm going to bump it down to, let's say, 0.75. Go into top view, take this one and bump it to 0.75, and I'll adjust the colors on it a little bit. Take the main light here and I'm just going to kind of just give it a hint of a blue, not very much, and I'm going to take this one and turn it a little more orangish. I really goofed that one up. Bring it over here. And I'm going to leave that one low. Let me go 0 and just see how that renders. Alright, I got the shadows kind of the way that I want. I want them a little soft, so that will work for now. I'm definitely not a lighting expert. I encourage anybody to go ahead and go to some other websites and find more on lighting tutorials. Blender Cookie has some good lighting tutorials on there, and I invite people to kind of go over there and kind of see what they do. And like I say, they're just tremendously better than I am. So now let's start working on my body here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the diffuse and I'm going to pull it down to about 0.03. Oops, a little bit too far. That's close enough. And that's going to be the main color that I'm going to be working with there. I'm going to take my specular and I'm going to give it, let's go ahead and pop just a little bit of bluish in there. That kind of what I want. And let's, okay, this is all kind of personal taste. I'm going to run the hardness, I think, on my, let me look here. I'm going to run the hardness up a little bit, I think, first to maybe about 100. Let's see how that looks. Actually, let's go the other way. Let's run it down to, let's say, let's try 25. And okay, I think I'm going to kind of live with that. I think I'm going to bump this intensity all the way up. And definitely not. Let's run it back down to, let's say, 0.76. Okay. I'm going to kind of leave that where it's at right at the moment. Okay, I'm not really sure that I like the lighting the way it is. I think its position is okay, but the color of the lights, let me go ahead and let me just go ahead and change that one back to, let me see here. Go ahead and change that one all the way back up to white, and I'm going to bump the energy up to 1.4, I think. And take this one here, and I think I'm going to make this one definitely a little more bluer. Yeah, let's take this one and run this one a little bit bluer. Let's say to right about, actually I'm going to make it quite blue, to there, but I'm going to turn the specular off on it and just make it diffuse. And this one I'm going to leave the specular and diffuse on, and the backlight, again I'm going to kind of make this one just a little more orangish, I think. Right about there. And I'm going to turn the specular off, excuse me, on that one. And let me look through the viewport. And I kind of like that one a little better. Alright. We'll come in here, and I'm actually going to darken this up just a tad more, down to, let's say, 0.2. And run the intensity back up to 0.8. And I'm going to take this intensity and drop it down to about 387. And I still think I need to run that hardness up some. Let's say 52. Let's see how that looks. Okay, I'm liking that a little better. Let's see what I have the keys set at here. See, the keys I have almost jet black, and in fact I think I'm going to take this and darken it up just a little bit more. Let's go 0.01. 0.01. 0.01. 0.01. There we go. And go F12 to kind of see how that looks. And yeah, and let's go ahead and run up to the keys, and let's go ahead and match that as well. 0.01, 0.01. I do not know why that first one didn't change. 0.01. There we go. And now hit F12 again and see what that looks like. And I like that just a lot better. So, oops. Let's kind of zoom in here. I've got a little bit of a shine on it from my specular, but not tremendously. I've got my specular on the, let's go to 0.04, or excuse me, 0.4, and let's do the same thing for the keys. Let's change its intensity to 0.4 as well. Kind of want those two to match. And take the diffuse and go 0.8 again. And I like that a lot better. May play with this again a little later on, but right now I'm kind of liking what I got here. Let's go ahead and go back over to here, hit this, hit the body, and run over here and let's add cloud texture. And I think what I want to do with the cloud texture, hold on just a second. I'm sorry, I had to go look at a reference real quick. Like I say, texturing or materials is not my strongest suit. I'm going to run all the way down to the bottom here, and I'm going to go ahead and leave these two like that. However, the size I'm going to run all the way down to 0. And Blender Original, everything else is just about what I want. And that changed the way that clouds look just tremendously. I'm going to come into color. We're going to go ahead and leave it at generated. And I'm also want to affect the geometry a little bit, so I'm going to, but I don't want to affect it a tremendous amount. Let's go 0.05 for right now, and the color at 0.1, and this here I want to turn it all the way to black and change this to value. And I think that's about what I want. Let's take a quick little snapshot of that, take a look. I got it affecting the normals way too much, so let's run that down just a little bit. The geometry, let's go 0.005. Whoops. 0.005. And F12 again. Yeah, that added a little graininess to it, which is what we want. Plastic is not all that um, shiny like that. You're going to see some of this variation in here, but we'll get rid of that here real quick. That is coming through simply because if I go into touchpad here and run over the textures, you see that I've got that texture in it as well, and I'm just going to click out of that. So if I do that, you'll see that disappeared. And for some reason, that also affected my keys, or excuse me, my, I didn't rename that. Let's go over here and we'll call this keys. Let's see, mouse keys. And I'm back over to here, and we'll just click that off. Now if I redo this, I'm back to where I wanted. And it's got just a little bit of graininess in there, just exactly what I want, just to kind of break it up a little bit, because plastic does have kind of a grainy feel to it. So I'm going to be happy with that texture at the moment. Okay, I think I'm just going to end it right here for this session. I'm going to do one more session on the texturing, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on this portion up here. I'm going to add the screen. Then here I'm going to apply uh, uh, a material for the touchpad as well as the mouse keys here. It'll actually be a much shorter tutorial, and we're going to call this model finished. Some of you might say, well, where are the off and on buttons and the keys for the or the place to put the different apparatuses such as a USB slots. However, this model is not going to be the main accent of what's going to be seen. When my character types on this, his hands are going to be covering it a lot, and I don't want to draw too much detail into this model so that it detracts from other things that I'm doing. So I'm going to kind of leave this model as it is, other than fixing up the screen and the rest of the materials. As always, this model will be available at my website at cgboomer.com for download along with the textures. Please feel free to jump on there and tweak it and play with it. If you want to add more definition and stuff to this model, have at it. It's yours to do with whatever you want. And again, this is Hans Eriksson at cgboomer.com, and happy blending.